family, it's your girl Leah, back again with another video. In today's video, as you can see from the title, it's just my 2018 drugstore beginner friendly makeup product. So this is for somebody who's out there, anybody who's out there who's one, new to makeup and they're looking to build up a little kit, just a couple of products that they can have in their collection that will be inexpensive and very affordable. Or two, this is just for somebody out there who just wants drugstore products. You may know how to do makeup like a pro, but you're looking for some great products out there and you're tired of spending, your $50 or $60 for these high-end brands, and you really just want products in your collection that are pretty affordable. Pretty much everything I'm going to say today is under, if not $10, at least under $12. So very affordable products. Now, everything I'm going to say also is something that you can get at a Rite Aid, a CVS, a Walgreens, Target, Walmart, and all this. And a lot of these products I use on a regular too. I'm not a high-end snob. I use drugstore all the time. Drugstore ain't what it used to be about 15 years ago. It's really stepped the game up. Now I'm going to go in order of how I do my face as well. And what I do first is my brows, and you guys should know by now, this is the product I use regardless of high-end drugstore and all of that, and it is the NYX brand. Now NYX may not be available at a lot of Walgreens. It's available at my Walgreens now. It's also available at Target and all of that, but NYX eyebrow pencil, I can't go anywhere with this. This is the only thing I repurchased. I used to be a MAC spiked snob, and then I found this, and then I have never gone back. This is $9.99. I have it in the color chocolate. I like it because it has a spoolie. You need this in your collection. If you're a heavy-handed person like me, I can't use a pomade, I can't use a gel because my brows would be so dark. I need something that's a little bit lighter, and especially because I have brows that are kind of defined in itself, I can be very easy with this. I can be very light-handed, and I can comb them up. So the next thing I'm going to go into is eyeshadow, and I'm being completely honest with you guys. I don't think that a drugstore has really stepped up the game to the eyeshadow world that it needs to. I think they're starting to get some good things, but I think for the longest time, CoverGirl, Revlon, Almay, Maybelline, all those typical drugstore brands have not done a good job at having products. They've been chalky, and in a world where we can get pigmentation if we want to, you can't play that game. But the brand that the drugstore that I think does an amazing job at it, and I have to give them kudos, is Wet n Wild. Wet n Wild does an amazing job at their eyeshadows. Now, I bought the Comfort Zone in the normal old-fashioned palette size that I used to have. Now they've kind of switched it up a little bit and they've gone this way, but I love them. Of course, I would say eyeshadow palettes is something that I always exclusively really do like to buy the higher end. And when I say higher end, I'm still meaning about 20 to 30 bucks. I love Morphe products, eyeshadow. So if you're gonna have eyeshadows in your collection, I think ColourPop and Morphe are really good for beginners out there. But if you're really just looking at the drugstore, really looking at the drugstore products, Wet n Wild is probably the best that the drugstore has to offer in terms of eyeshadow. I think Milani is good, but Milani doesn't really have a lot of great palettes. They have a lot of singles, and singles can add up. I like the convenience of having a palette that I can transport and I can travel with, and that I can have multiple eyeshadows in one. So the next thing I do is, of course, I do lashes. I do not have lashes in real life. You guys should know that about me on this channel. I don't ever come on here and film without lashes because my real lashes are trash. And what I always use in terms of lashes, never, you guys cannot ask me what lash I have on because it's always gonna be the Kiss 03 Beyond Natural. Now I put this in the drugstore section, and I know Kiss a lot of times isn't available. It's available at beauty supply stores. It's $2.99 at pretty much every beauty supply store that I go into now. Like, I thought it was only at my local one, but now I've gone into several and I've seen Kiss lashes there. Now, if you're looking for a dupe for this, I don't have it on hand, but I went into a Target and I saw Ardell 600s. Ardell 600s are almost identical, if not identical, the same thing in terms of these lashes. They have that kind of cluster kind of look about it. Again, that's all I ever wear in terms of lashes. Ardell 600s are almost identical. Now for day to day, I've never found a mascara that has made me look like my lashes are over the top. But on a day to day, of course, I don't wear lashes to work. I do like the Supersizer by CoverGirl. I think it's waterproof. I think it does do a good job at elongating what little lashes I do have. Now, is it extravagant? Is it gonna make me look like I'm 10 times lash popping? No, but it does a good job of coating the lashes and lengthening at the same time without making them clunky. I don't like clunky. It does a great job, and it has a great wand for just kind of lengthening, and that's what I look for more so than I do thickening. So the next thing I do is I go in with primer. I have dry skin, so a lot of the times the over-the-counter primers just don't work, and for dry skin you do need something that is going to kind of hydrate you. For me, it's been the NYX Honey Do Me Up. Now this is probably the most expensive product that I'm showing you in this video. Very expensive, but as you can see, I've used a lot of it. Like, it's almost at the bottom. This isn't a summertime primer for me because it's already hot outside. This is definitely a winter time when my skin is looking the dullest that it ever can look. I plop this out. So next we get into foundations, and I could honestly not choose one in this category just because this is where the drugstore is excelling right now. I think each brand has their product that's really standing out. I think CoverGirl has some products that people are really enjoying right now. I think Maybelline has a lot of products that people enjoy. Revlon, L'Oreal, every brand right now in the drugstore is trying to come hard for the foundation game. Now the thing I'll say about drugstores, going in and being of a darker skin, in the stores, they don't have the selection that they need to have. They need to do better with darker skin. So I can say that too, I'm blue in the face, but I don't know why they don't do it. But the first I'm going to speak on is Matte and Poreless by Maybelline. I love this foundation. I think the one con of this is that it doesn't have a pump, but I think if you're looking for something very, very affordable and something that works really well, this Fit Me. The old formula Fit Me, I hated that old formula. When they came out with the new formula of Fit Me, I loved it. Maybelline really stepped it up. They must have heard some complaints. The next thing I'm going to go with is L'Oreal. L'Oreal has an amazing line of things. They have the L'Oreal True Match. They have the L'Oreal True Match Lumi, which is another foundation that I'm going to talk about in a minute. I like both of these. L'Oreal is probably winning the game. Maybelline and L'Oreal are competing, and I think L'Oreal right now is winning for me, especially being a dry skin. They have the Luminous. This is something for us dry skin. They have the Pro Glow, something for us dry girls out here, especially the lightweightness of it. Love both of them. Now they also have the Pro Matte, which I, don't use as much. I think it's good though. I think it's definitely good, but of course I'm not going to use it as much being a dry skin person, but I love the fact that they have this. And Revlon Color Stay. Now a lot of times when I'm filming, I love the Urban Decay All Nighter, but if you're somebody who is looking for fuller coverage, I think this is amazing, amazing, amazing for drugstore full coverage. If you have imperfections to cover, if you have all that, everything else I've listed is more so either medium or sheer coverage. This is the one full coverage, I think, foundation from the drugstore that I can stand behind. Milani has a good one too. Milani's is good, but I think Revlon's is better. I think the brand that is killing the drugstore game and that you need to have in your collection if you're gonna have a drugstore concealer, I think it is the Maybelline Better Skin. I hated this foundation. If you saw my review on this, hated this foundation. Throw the whole foundation away, but keep the concealers. These are good. I used to love Maybelline Fit Me. That was my ride or die, and I use this as my go-to. I don't use a high-end concealer. I used to love Tarte Shape Tape, and then Tarte tried it with their foundation release, and I was like, all right, so we're going back to Maybelline Fit Me. I think it works just as good. I think it's an amazing product. I have it in 2 different shades. I have it in medium, deep, and medium. I was in the store. I couldn't remember what I was, so I picked up medium. Medium deep is probably more towards my line, but if I want a little bit more brightening, I'll go with medium. But love this. I think Maybelline overall wins the concealer game, in my opinion, in the drugstore. I'm holding this up just because I'm going to throw it away after this video, but I need a video where I show it. People told me setting powder for the drugstore was the Coty Airspun. Everybody said this was it. This was the best drugstore thing out here. I think for me, for setting powder, and I don't have to set my whole face, so I'm not going to say my favorite powder because I don't powder anything other than my under eye. I don't have to powder my face being dry skin. I would look very cakey if I did that. So for me, powdering under my eye is the only thing I did. I bought this for that. I'd say the drugstore as of right now, and I haven't tried the Maybelline powder yet, the loose powder by Maybelline. So if I'll try that, maybe I'll like this, but Coty Airspun, throw the whole thing away. I don't have an under eye setting powder that I love from there. I think if I'm going to say under eye setting powder, I'm going to say the Sacha Buttercup powder. I've mentioned that in several videos. I like that. It's not drugstore, and I know this is supposed to be exclusively drugstore, but I'd say if you're going to splurge on anything, I think setting powder and having a finely milled one is where you need to splurge. splurge on, especially if you need under eye setting. If you don't need under eye setting, you don't crease under the eyes, especially if you have that young, good tenderoni skin, you ain't got to worry about this. But as you age a little bit, you're not going to want to look so creasy, so baggy, so wrinkly up under there. You're going to need a good powder, and sometimes you have to spend a little bit more coinage in that department. The next thing I do is I contour, and the next thing I like to use for contour, I like the LA Pro Conceal concealer, but a lot of times they're only available at beauty supply stores too. They're only like $2.99, and I have a whole video. If you want to see me swatch pretty much every single one of those, I'll leave that video up above. But a thing if you like powders, and you can find these at Walmart and some ethnically diverse drugstores, because there's not a lot out there, but the ones that do carry black Radiance, I think they make some good pressed powders. Now, I didn't really enjoy this as much. They do have a contour palette specifically for contouring, and you're supposed to like use this for sculpting. I have the light and the dark one. This one right now will be a little bit too light for me as I go in the summer, but I have the medium to deep. This is light to medium. I didn't like it as much. What I did like though is I like their pressed powders. So just getting a pressed powder, and they're not that expensive, under $5, and you can just get their pressed powder and use it as a contour. Just find one shade up, couple shades up, however much you want to contour, and I think they just have some good powders. So if you're looking for a contour and you just want one, you don't want a whole palette, that palette, not the best. I think if you want to have and make your own kind of combination, I own at least 5 of these. I just have these 2, but they're a good option. Now, if you ask me about highlighters, I think in my last video, I didn't have a favorite drugstore highlighter. Truth be told, I thought highlighters were only something that they had at high-end stores. Becca was my thing at the time. I think Becca was my standalone because they didn't have a lot of highlighters at the time. I don't know when the highlighter craze boomed, but it must have been in late 2016, early 2017, because now the drugstore is booming with highlighters that I really do like. Now, I like the Wet n Wild. This is called Precious Petals. I like this particular highlighter. I think it's amazing solo highlighter. I don't really love the other Wet n Wilds. I think I bought the entire, like every single one they had. This was the only one that I feel suited me in my skin tone. Now, the Maybelline Master Chrome, if you're looking for a little something more golden, this is more champagne-y. So this is what I would compare like Champagne Pop or Opal to. This is a lot more golden-y. I think I would compare this to Laura Geller Gilded Honey. So it's that golden phase. I like this one too. Now, if you're looking for palettes, you guys know my #1, and you can only get this at Ulta, so I know this is kind of a cheat, but BH Cosmetics has this palette, and I kill these. Like, I swirl my brush. If you can kind of see how I take my brush, I just like all the colors. I don't like this one as much, so the brush stops here, but I typically like to swirl these around and create something intense. Now, I don't wear this every day. This only goes out for special, and I mean special occasions, because the highlight will blind you. I have on today the Precious Petals one, and as you can see, but I also mix it in with gold a little bit because I thought it was looking a little too champagne. So I mixed these two together. Putting this on camera would be too intense. I don't want to do that to you right now. I don't want to blind your screens, but I do like the drugstore now for highlighters. I don't think you have to spend high end anymore. Next, we're going to go into blushes. Now, right now, I still kind of think I do love the MAC blush game more than I like any other. I don't like the high end. I don't love the high end, but I don't think that I use day to day anything outside of MAC. But I do like the Wet n Wild blushes. I think their pigmentation is rival the MAC blushes, but I think their range doesn't. I don't think I can pick it up and find something I like. Sometimes I look at the Wet n Wild like this. I don't use this day to day because it's very intense, but it's very pigmented. I think if I would like something that had a little bit more purple in it. I'm more so towards fall-y type blushes, and I don't think Wet n Wild has the range. I think they only have 5, maybe 5 at the time of me filming this, blushes, and it's very light, and then they have some that are this kind of reddy kind of pink color. I love the pigmentation, and if this is something that suits you, I think you'll like it. But this is another Ulta cheat. I love the palette by Makeup Revolution though. Makeup Revolution though has some amazing blush shades. Now, this palette cost me less than $15. And I got this, and I kill this. I kill this in the winter time because it's a very fall-y color. I love this and kind of this in the summertime. Very light blushes. But the palette overall, under $15, has to be this, and it wins. I do like this Wet n Wild one. I just wish their shade selection, if they expanded their shade selection, I wouldn't buy MAC anymore. And then last but not least is lippies. Now, for lippies, you guys know, I'm all my videos, and even right now, I have on Anastasia Sapphia. That's just my lip. That's my go-to lip. That's what I love. I can't diversify. Like, you think I would come on here with some crazy colors. This is the lip that just works for me. But sometimes, you know, it can be a little drying, and you want something a little bit more nourishing, and you want a lipstick. And I think Milani wins my drugstore lipstick pick. I think Maybelline has trying now. They're trying with their lip game, and I haven't even gone back to them because they have let me down so much in the past with their lip game that I was like, y'all come to me when y'all have a better formula, because back then they didn't have one. Now I think they're stepping up, and maybe I'll try Maybelline, but right now Milani holds it. I have Milani Beauty in my hand. I love Beauty and Innocence. I think those are my two favorite Milani lipstick shades. I think NYX, I'm kind of hesitant to mention NYX just because I know it's not available everywhere. It's available in a lot of drugstores, but not all. Their lip glosses are really good, as well as their lip creams are really, really good. But if you're really looking for affordable and you're willing to go online to search for stuff, ColourPop. ColourPop is where it's at. ColourPop is $6. ColourPop lippies are amazing. They rival Anastasia. If I can't find my Anastasia Sapphia at points, I use ColourPop Mess Around, because Mess Around is a complete dupe for the lip that I have on right now. So just be aware, if you're willing to go online, if you want drugstore prices but you don't mind going online and searching for something, ColourPop has the brands out there. Now this is it. This has been my beginner friendly makeup. If you're looking for drugstore, if you don't know a lot about makeup and you're like, I really need some products and I really want to try out this makeup game, but you don't want to go in the store and spend $600 to get basically 6 products, this has been the products that you need. I don't think anything here would really break the bank. If you guys have drugstore favorites out there, let me know down below. What are you loving in the drugstore games? If some of these products didn't work for you, let me know why down below. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. If you are not already subscribed to my channel, what you waiting for? What you wait? I got time. I got time to kill. Smash that subscribe button. Become part of the family. We want you here. Make sure you're following me on Instagram so you don't miss anything. And I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.